You take away. I feel the same.
There are racetracks, and then there are places that define a sport. For dirt racing, that place is Eldora Speedway. Hidden among the cornfields of western Ohio, this half-mile clay oval has become hallowed ground where legends are made one slide job at a time. For decades, the biggest names in sprint cars, late models, midgets, and stock cars have come here chasing one thing every driver wants: the chance to conquer the world's most famous dirt track. When Tony Stewart took ownership, he preserved Eldora's rich tradition while pushing it into a new era, elevating the facility and returning NASCAR's National Series to dirt for the first time in more than 40 years. Since then, every lap here has been a reminder that on dirt, reputations mean nothing once the green flag flies. Because at Eldora, grip is never guaranteed, every corner changes, every restart rewrites history, and every mistake gets buried in the clay. Tonight, the spotlight belongs to the stars. The GRL All-Star Showdown brings some of the best drivers in the field to one of the most demanding tracks in motorsports, where patience, precision, and pure car control will decide who leaves with a trophy. It's the GRL All-Star Showdown, and it's next on Track Limits Network. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Eldora Raceway. Yet another round of golden racing action here, but this time on the dirt. This time, no points. Nothing to worry about, but a little bit of pride. It's the All-Star race here on the dirt, and they're running the 87 Cup cars here tonight, so that's a nice caveat that they've added to it. Before we get too deep into things, let's get into the race details, shall we? 10-lap heat races tonight, 20-lap consies, 50-lap feature. There will be no fast repair. There will be one attempt at a green-white checkered finish if we need it. Oh, and by the way, caution laps, they don't count here tonight, so you're going to get every lap advertised under the green flag. Weather-wise, 74 degrees, 43% humidity, clear skies, a 2-mile-per-hour breeze. Track temperature down to 66 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm not a big dirt guy. I don't really know how much that track temp affects the dirt, but I'm sure somebody out there knows and will fill us in the stream chat. Fast times so far in the session, the 64 Jared Murphy, top of the charts, 17.270. Dan Michelle showing more pace here tonight, even on the dirt, 17.627. A considerable amount off that top time here tonight, but we'll see how things roll out throughout the rest of the heats. Further down the line, it's the 8 machine of Dave Warmoth, Dan Jones, Bryce Jellison, the top 5. Already got some chatters. We got the Pilot Guy 82 says, let's go. Get him, Alderman, and thanks for subbing in. Hope all is well, Steve. Tuned in on the drive to Lime Rock. What's going on at Lime Rock? What did I miss? We got Sandy Free, W5J, Go Cameron, Golden Racing 19. Put on a show, boys. Got Ryan says, couldn't make it to the All-Star Challenge. Let's get it. Robert Black, the greatest dirt driver I've ever seen. Robert Black has not registered a time, or has he? No, hasn't put in any laps in practice, at least for my timing and scoring. It doesn't show a clean lap out of the number 3 machine. We'll see if that changes. Less than a minute left in the session. We'll get into qualifying. 5 minutes, 2 laps, and then on to the heat races. Want to let everybody know I did a little bit of tuning on the old GPU this afternoon. 3090 Ti used to be a nice piece of equipment, but it's a little outdated these days, so we had to get her a little shaped up for tonight's race here on the dirt. I hope it looks good. So far, I'm liking it. I just hope it lasts. Overclocking can be a little tricky sometimes. That'll do it for practice. Jared Murphy, top of the charts. We'll see if he can back it up here in qualifying, which is set to get underway here just in a moment. Looks like Bryce Jellison will roll off first. Again, got to keep in mind here, clean laps are the only ones that count. If you spin the car out or if you touch the wall at all, it will invalidate the lap. .19.16, the time for Jellison. He was P1 for just a brief moment, slips to the second spot, and I think that may do it for Jellison as he's facing the wrong way. Jared Murphy goes top of the charts on his first lap, a 17.637, lightning quick around here. Gets the wall there in 3 and 4. That may kill this lap. See if it registers. And that's a no. Now to Dagan Barnes in his Pontiac. 20.2 his first trip around. Big hit after the qualifying attempt. Barnes will sit 11th. Steve Luttrell finishes his second lap. He's third quick, 18.809 for the number 36. Who knew Luttrell could drive on dirt? Colton Alderman now, 9th quick on his first lap. Hanging it wide out there off of turn number 2. Jones in the Tide ride. 19.459, 7th quick, his first lap. Pretty clean couple of laps for Dan Jones. 19.64 his second lap, not quicker, but 7th quick, not too shabby. Dallas Sunderman in the 58. Just about 2 minutes left in the session. Sunderman doing all he can to get around this place. I'm with you, Dallas. Dirt's just not my style. 21.861 for Dallas. He'll slip to 19th. Now Cameron Sterling in the number 95. (19.821), 14th quick. Robert Black in the Hardy's number 3, 20th quick, now 19th, 21.703. And a big wreck into turn 1 after the lap. That should do it for just about everybody. Still a minute left in the session. We're going to step aside, get a quick break out of the way. We'll be back after this.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at Eldora Speedway, ready to get heat number 1 underway. Only a 5-car heat, but let's take a look at the starting grid that, of course, doesn't want to populate. Well, the front row will be Jared Murphy and David Warmoth. Row 2, Pat Warmoth and Elijah Grant. And in the 5th and final position, the 41 of Dagan Barnes. Still waiting on Barnes to get gridded up here for this heat race. We'll have 2 pace laps before we get this heat underway. Again, 10 laps, no fast repair. I believe they'll run 1 attempt at a green-white checkered, even in the heat races. No tires available over the wall, a full load of fuel on board. Caution laps do not count. Weather-wise, we're looking 73 degrees, 48% humidity, clear skies, as you can see. Almost no breeze at 2 miles per hour, and track temp down to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Pace car heads to pit lane. Barney with the green in hand, and we're underway at Eldora. Dagan Barnes smacks the wall in the middle of 1 and 2 as he rides in the 5th position. Up front, Jared Murphy hanging it right out. Top of the racetrack already working the cushion. Back across start finish, he'll lead lap number 1. Murphy certainly not intimidated as he's checked out to a massive advantage, a straightaway already after just 1 lap. 3.4 seconds the advantage for the number 64. In the 2nd spot, David Warmoth running ahead of Elijah Grant and Pat Warmoth. Yes, they're related, father and son. Murphy just on cruise control. 5 seconds now the advantage. Ran a 17.66 the last time by. Warmoth having trouble here at the back of the pack. We stay green. Meanwhile, Jared Murphy now 11 seconds up. He's about to lap his first driver here. It's Elijah Grant. Dagan Barnes has taken it to pit lane. So in just 5 laps, Murphy encountering lap traffic here at Eldora. Pat Warmoth still running in the 2nd spot. Now 14 seconds off the race lead. Go down to lap himself here in just a couple seconds as far as racetrack time is concerned. I think Murphy's going to get there. 4 more laps to go.
Caution.
And we got trouble. Caution is out.
There towards the end of that little run we just did.
Dagan Barnes having trouble on the speedway. It was just a matter of time for Murphy to get clear and lap up to 2nd place. Didn't get there. Caution came out, prevented it. take a look. Barnes just gets on the throttle here, and it comes around on the bottom of the racetrack. So we'll get the restart, and I think some extra laps. Ryan in the chat says, man, it's nice to see that wheel up in iRacing. Yeah, I don't know what they did to the setup on these things, but that left front tire going to be cold as ice at the end of this race unless someone really has to turn right up the racetrack, but that thing's barely touching the track. And that's going to say no green-white checkered, it appears, in the heat races as the white flag does come out. This one will end under caution with Murphy taking the win over Pat Warmoth, David Warmoth, Elijah Grant, and Tegan Barnes.
Green, green, green.
I guess we'll get the green and the white at the same time. So green, white, checkered. Something amiss here with the iRacing data transfers, but we got 2 more to go here from Eldora. Jared Murphy already out to a 3-second lead yet again here now on second place, Pat Warmoth.
Caution.
And the caution's out again. Tegan Barnes around for a second time, but that's going to do it here at Eldora in heat number 1. Only one attempt at a green, white, checkered, so that's all she wrote for the 64. Chris Golden in the chat says, it's a Golden Chef special. I set it on Dig. I love it. Again, not a huge dirt fan, but if you're going to do it right. So it's Murphy, Pat Warmoth, David Warmoth, Elijah Grant, Tegan Barnes. That will ultimately be your finishing order here in heat number 1. Little concerned here. We got the white flag 4 times in this session, so I don't know if we've got a glitch going on with the session. We have seen this a time or 2 in these heat race formats. We're technically on lap 11 right now.
Green flag.
And we're getting a restart. Not sure what's going on, folks. This one should have been over. I have double checked. Only one attempt at the green, white, checkered. It should have been complete, but here we go. Unofficial results as Murphy crosses the line. Finally, the checkered flag waves. So it's Murphy, David Warmoth, Elijah Grant, Pat Warmoth, Tegan Barnes. That is the finishing order here in heat number 1. Ryan says cautions probably don't count. I know in the feature they didn't count, but I guess that translates to the heats as well, so that does add up. So heat number 2 on the front row, it'll be Dan Michelle and Bryce Jellison. Row 2, Landon Brown, Cameron Sterling. And shotgun on the field in the 5th spot, it'll be Chris Bingley. Works this time. Field ready to go, racing here at heat number 2 at Eldora Speedway. Coming off turn number 2 to finish their second pace lap. They'll be green flag the next time by. Dan Michelle, Bryce Jellison leading them to green. You got a 5-car heat.
Green flag.
Jellison in the 07 will lead the pack out of turn number 2. Dan Michelle, Landon Brown second and third, and that's the battle we watch. Brown at the bottom of the racetrack is familiar number 5. Up to the top side of the track as the 07 goes around. Jellison hard into the wall and on his lid.
Trying to talk me through what's going on again.
So very quickly, the yellow comes out for heat number 2. For the 07 of Bryce Jellison getting crossed up off turn 4, nose first, and then on his roof in turn 4. Let's take a look. Had the lead down into 3. Just starts to rotate, and it hooks. Michelle gets clear on the outside, and just a lazy flip over there at the end of it. Lights on a pace truck are out. We'll get the restart here. One less car in the field, so a 4-car heat in heat number 2. Green flag back out. Michelle on the gas. Michelle continuing to lead, 7 laps to go. Landon Brown in the second spot trying to work the bottom lane. The battle is on, though, here. Third place, Cameron Sterling, Chris Bingley. Bingley was there a little bit there through turns 1 and 2. Sterling drives off, and I can't tell if it's dirt or smoke coming out the back of the 95. We're going to call it dust. See what it looks like on board the Chris Bingley machine. You know, I'll say this, Bingley's 4th, last car in the standings right here, but pretty smooth. Not real aggressive on the wheel. Easy on the easy off the throttle. Meanwhile, out front, Dan Michel, 5 seconds the advantage with 2 to go as he pounds the wall there in 1 and 2. Almost drives up the fence. Last lap, 1 to go. Venture a guess here. I think Dan Michel's using 3rd gear, and that's it. So Michel will win heat number 2. Landon Brown out of turn 4. He'll take 2nd. Cameron Sterling slides his way into P3. Chris Bingley 4th. Last will be the 07 of Brian Jellison, who was first to start the race. Also first out of it. So heat number 3 about to get underway. Another 10-lap heat race. It'll be Stephen Luttrell and Colton English on the front row. Colton Alderman, Tracy Brown in row 2. And in the final row, the 5th spot, the 3 of Robert Black. Stephen Luttrell had some pace in the qualifying session. If I remember correct, it was 3rd quick in qualifying. Never knew Stephen was good on the dirt. Let's see what he can do here in this heat race. Heat number 3 of the night. Chris Golden filling us in here in the chat says the top 2 from each heat advance to the feature, then the 2 last chance races where we take top 2 for a 12-car feature.
Green flag.
Luttrell slipping and sliding into turn number 1. Battle on behind him, and no, Luttrell crossed up 4 wide off turn 2. And we got a new leader as Tracy Brown rockets to the front. Colton Alderman 2nd. Now the 7 of Colton English alongside. 3-way, 3 wide. Car turned around off turn 4. Robert Black facing the wrong direction. See if he can get it righted before the leaders get back to him. Colton Alderman missing the front bumper and grill already. English up the racetrack, just kisses the wall, but opens the door for Alderman to take the spot.
Caution, caution.
And the caution comes
Quickly,
out
tell me what you got.
for Robert Black. Black jumps to the pit lane very quickly. Black just slipping and sliding all over the place. Trying to get her going, but nose first into the outside wall. First caution of heat number 3. Robert Black with some considerable damage on his machine. He'll sit stationary in the pits. Nose all tore up. Lorna Luttrell in the chat says he raced dirt after the asphalt track shut down. So that explains the experience for the driver of the number 36. See if he can use that experience to get back into a transfer spot. He's last in the running order right now, at least those drivers that are still out on the track. It'll be lap 6 when we get the restart.
Green flag.
Cameron Hageman in the chat says this looks fun as hell. Depends on who you ask. I'm having fun watching it, though. Alderman up the racetrack, wall riding here. Whatever works for you there, Colton. Keeps it out in front off turn 4, but English using the racetrack. Almost got alongside. So Alderman now 1.3 seconds out in front of the 7. 6 laps to go here in heat number 3. Cameron, he sent you the invite there, Golden Racing League. If you want to come out and run with these guys, I think it'd be a great league for you. I know you're running on Sundays with PSRA, but I think memory serves, we're running on Wednesdays with Golden. I think that's the plan. Alderman getting into a rhythm here. 2.3 seconds the advantage with less than 4 laps to go. Everybody kind of running on their own. Luttrell stuck at the back. Had a quick lap in qualifying. It looks good. He's not dancing all over the racetrack. Slides up into the cushion just a touch. Just got mired back there. Cameron, get with Chris Golden on the schedule. It's not a dirt series. They do have a dirt series, but the asphalt series is what I'm talking about. And they're running, I think, 4 different cars over the course of one season. So it's quite the variety. Last lap for Colton Alderman. Colton Alderman off turn number 4. He'll win heat 3. Colton English will finish second. He'll move on to the feature. And Luttrell will go to the concert. So it's Alderman, English, Luttrell, Brown, and Black, your 5 finishers in heat number 3. Now to heat number 4. On the front row, it'll be Heath Rutherford and Daniel Jones. Row 2, Cliff Mullins and Shane Morris. And Dallas Sunderman will start from the back in the 5th position. Starting to see a couple of cool paint schemes in this series tonight. Of course, the 17 of Dan Jones rocking the DW Tide Ride. I think I saw a Quaker State livery out there somewhere. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't.
Flag.
Green flag in the air. Here we go. Heat number 4. Cliff Mullins trying to straighten it out. He does so. Jones gets the fence on entry to turn number 3, but he's got the lead by just about a half second over the 98 of Heath Rutherford. Jones slow at the bottom of the racetrack. Rutherford will take over the top spot. You don't need to win the heat to move on. Just got to be top 2. Rutherford will jump to the front. Jones to second. Cliff Mullins still runs in the 3rd position. Then it's Shane Morris, Dallas Sunderman, the balance of the field. Fast time so far, Rutherford with a 19:03. The fast time in the first heat, Jared Murphy, was in the mid-17s. Keep an eye on the 64. His problem tonight is likely going to be lap traffic. Rutherford picks up the pace, runs an 18:77. For cross flags as they come back to the start-finish line. 5 laps to go for the 98 of Heath Rutherford. Jones still back to the 2nd spot, running clean laps. Just got to be smooth the rest of the way. He's running about a second to maybe half a second faster than 3rd place Cliff Mullins. So as long as he keeps it clean from here on in, he should be okay to transfer and move on. Rutherford wheeling it down into turn 1. Less than 2 to go for the 98 of Rutherford. Got clear of Dan Jones a while back. White flag in the air. Final lap. And that'll do it. Rutherford wins heat number 4. Dan Jones will move on with Rutherford, Mullins, Sunderman, and Morris. to the Consi. Sun continues to set here at Eldora Speedway. Hopefully going to run this one under the lights for the feature. Couple of Consis coming up, so likely it will be dark by the time we start our 50-lap event. Let's get to our starting grid now for our 20-lap Consi. It's Elijah Grant and Stephen Luttrell on the front row. Row 2, it's Pat Wormuth and Tracy Brown. In row 3, it's Dagan Barnes and Robert Black. Race details, Acacia coming in late. 10-lap heats, they're all but done. Now on to the 20-lap Consi. I think we got 2 here tonight. And then on to a 50-lap feature with the 12 remaining drivers. There's no fast repair. There's 1 attempt at a green-white checkered finish, but the caution laps will not count, so keep that in mind. Weather-wise, 72 degrees, 55% humidity, still clear skies, dead breeze. 0, zip, zilch, nothing blowing around here out at Eldora, and track temp 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Pace truck heads to pit lane, ready to get the Consi underway. Elijah Grant, Stephen Luttrell will bring him to green.
Green flag.
Oh, and around goes Grant. No, he straightens it up. Stephen Luttrell will go P1. And trouble behind is the 91 and the 3. Brown and Black coming together. Tracy Brown trying to get away here before the leader catches up. Trying to keep the yellow from coming out. Dump the clutch and go, buddy. He gets away from the scene. Stephen Luttrell still with the lead. Elijah Grant hanging it out behind Dagan Barnes. He'll straighten it back out. I don't know how he doesn't spin that thing out. Meanwhile, Dagan Barnes hard at work at the wheel. And there's Elijah Grant jumping up for the battle for third. Not for long, around he goes. Battle for the lead, Steve Luttrell, Dagan Barnes. Barnes struggled in his heat race, and he pounds into the driver door of the 36, battling for the top spot. We still got 15 laps to go, and the 41 already had damage. Barnes pounds the outside wall again, even more damage inflicted to the 41 machine. It's just going to get worse, Dagan. Calm it down. Elijah Grant in third, running the fastest lap in this Consi, 1961. And Dagan Barnes now with a mechanical black flag. He'll have to bring it to pit lane. Right front control arm likely down on that machine. It just won't turn. Looks like Barnes will take it to pit road. Or at least try.
Caution.
And the caution comes
What do you
out.
got
Barnes
now?
can't get to pit lane, so the yellow flag flies for the first time here in our first Consi race. Chris Golden in the Discord chat says, "Daggin, you only needed second." Tagging Barnes says, "I tried." Ryan in the chat says, "They watched Murphy wall riding." The difference is Murphy was keeping the right rear about 2 inches off the wall, and that's about it.
Green.
Battle for the lead. Elijah Grant going for the top spot. He'll use the 36 as a sideways break into turns 1 and 2. Slows his momentum just a bit more as Luttrell retakes the top spot. Robert Black now in the 3rd position. To go. Grant trying to run down the trail again. A few car lengths between the two of them for the time being.
Caution
And we
somewhere.
got trouble
Caution.
again.
Throughout the course of that last run, did you
Tracy
see any
Brown, a
rubber
big
laying
one.
down
He
at
ends
all?
up on his roof. So let's back this up a little further. Tracy Brown, it's going to get embarrassing, but we're going to show it. So a normal problem for the 91 here, getting into the corner, just comes around, he slides up the racetrack, driver's side first into the fence, and this trying to spin this thing back around. All of a sudden, it's got a lot of grip, and it takes a tumble. Nick Christ in the chat says, "Dang, stream keeps buffering driving through the rolling hills of northeast PA. Knock back your quality to like 480. I'm sending it at 4K, so if you're on your phone, it's going to be a little choppy." David Warma says, "This is really hard. Can't wait to get to my cooler." I mean, it's dirt track racing. You don't have the cooler in the car? It's only really there for ballast.
Green flag, green flag.
5 laps to go. No, 7 laps to go. Straight up the racetrack goes Luttrell into the fence. Whatever he's doing, though, it's paying off and working for now. And Elijah Grant straightens it back out. Big time sideways out of 2. Dave Warma says, I don't drink and race. I found that it actually kind of helps on the tracks where you got a lot of braking zones. Your reaction is a little delayed and you get a little deeper into the corner. So 4 laps to go for Stephen Luttrell as he'll smack the outside wall again. I gotta say though, Elijah Grant, never mind, looked real good off of turn 4 and it all went south in turn 1. And again, he's got some quick hands at the wheel of that thing, but he's got to keep it straight. Can't keep it off the wall. He may have something broke in that car. It's Robert Black now running him back down. Black takes the second spot from Elijah Grant. He's going to try and fight him back for it. Slides in behind the 3. Final lap for Stephen Luttrell as the battle for second continues to rage. Elijah Grant has disappeared, and he's facing the wrong way, trying to get going again, and Stephen Luttrell's going to run him down. Hopefully he can get going. Off turn number 4 for the final time. Checkered flag for Stephen Luttrell. He'll go to the feature. Robert Black makes it across in the second spot. He'll advance. And out of this one, Elijah Grant, Tracy Brown, Dagan Barnes, and Pat Wormuth. But there's another consi coming up. So the LCQ. Still no grid. On the front row, it'll be Cameron Sterling and Cliff Mullins. Row 2, Chris Bingley, Dallas Sunderman. And in the final row, it's Bryce Jellison and Shane Morris. Remember Bryce Jellison? He led the start of his heat race, and a lap later, he was on his roof and out of it. So final opportunity for the 07 to make it onto the feature race.
Ready, green flag.
Here we go. Final race of the night before we get to our feature is underway. Cliff Mullins, Dallas Sunderman into turn 1. The 44 of Mullins with the race lead. Sunderman runs second, Sterling back to third. Drivers starting to hunt up the racetrack for some grip as the 66 of Bingley goes around. He'll spin her back around and get back in the fight. Jelly makes it more than a lap or two so far in the Consi. He runs back into the third position right now. Needs one more, maybe needs something to happen up in front of him to take advantage and finish this one second, or better yet, maybe even win the thing. Out front, Cliff Mullins finally starting to get into a rhythm here, and the caution is out as Chris Bingley's around again. So let's take a look here what happened to the 66, put us on our first caution of this LCQ. Bingley by himself just loses rear grip, comes around. Chris Golden in the chat says it's a feature invert, so second chance in this last chance should start on the pole, I think, for the feature. Second to last? Second Lance? Close enough. Here we go, green back in the air. Battle for the lead. Mullins trying to hold off the 07 and Jellison. Jellison real loose on the bottom of the racetrack. Has the run, though, off, and he'll take the lead. Mullins battling back around the outside. They get crossed up, make contact mid-corner. Jellison still on point. Battle raging behind him as Cameron Sterling now gets to the outside, and the caution is out again for Chris Bingley. And that might be the night for the 66. Calling it an evening. Let's see what happened here this time to Mr. Bingley. The 75 just pounds him into the corner. Hard impact into the wall. Shane Morris maybe not happy with Bingley for something. Chris Golden in the chat says, finally, one of the drivers listens. My setup is built to run the bottom. Attaboy, Bryce. Race truck lights are out, ready to get back underway here at Eldora Speedway. Again, caution laps do not count, so we're not losing laps.
Green flag.
Bryce on the bottom of the racetrack. It doesn't look great, but so far it's working. It's the short way around. He's found some grip down there. Track isn't slicked off at the bottom, at least not yet. He's making it work. Jellison over Mullins by half a second now. 14 to go. Up into the slick part of the track, though. Hangs on to it. Back to the bottom. Oh, contact for second, and they're both in the fence. Big time hit at the end of it. The 75 of Morris plows into the door. Still no caution.
Caution.
There it is.
Save. How was your car?
So let's watch it again here from the blimp or the tower. It's already underway here. We'll back it up a little further so we can watch how this one kicked off. Mullins top of the racetrack, a little over rotate there, gets into the 95 on exit, nose first into the wall, and the 75 nowhere to go, right into the right door of Cameron Sterling. It's going to be heavy damage for all these guys. So as they get set to get back underway here, it's Bryce Jellison, Cliff Mullins back on the front row. Jellison with the advantage now with a cleaner race car than the 44. Green flag back in the air. Let's see if he can hold him off. 12 to go. Truthfully, I think Jellison just needs to run clean laps from here to the finish. Doesn't need to worry about outpacing the 44 at this point. Just stay clean, keep the car straight down the track. He may find himself in the feature after all. I don't know what's going on here with Bryce, but all of a sudden it looks smooth. May have learned something, or just listened to Chris there running that car on the bottom, and I see Cliff Mullins going to try the same line, see if he can run him back down. I'm really impressed with the 44, able to keep pace right here with all that damage, and Jellison makes a mistake, and a little bit of contact from Mullins in that mistake. Up the racetrack goes the 07. He dumps the clutch and heads back out. We stay green. Jellison's still in a transfer spot, so he might be okay. Now it's just a matter of staying clean and cool. Sunderman, the only other car on the racetrack behind him. Sterling's in the pits, Bingley is out, and Morris is also in the pits with heavy damage. Just stay clean, Bryce. You got this. Something that's not clean, though, the 44. Cliff Mullins with the race lead. That race car tore up, but somehow still trucking. Chris Golden in the chat says Cliff running the same setup as Jellison, so that would explain the shift to the bottom of the racetrack. Dallas Sunderman has now gone down a lap. 5 laps to go for Mullins. Jellison back 5.2 seconds. Still loving that left front wheel off the ground. It's the way it's supposed to be. Only made my way to a couple of dirt races in my lifetime, 43 years of it. It was the very last big block dirt modified race at the New York State Fairgrounds for Super Dirt Week. And then a 410 sprint car race at Weedsport a couple years ago. That's about it. It was fun. I'll stick to pavement, though. Final lap for Cliff Mullins. And one more to go for Bryce Jellison. Just got to keep it clean the rest of the way. Big advantage back to third. No sense in pushing the issue here for Jellison. And out of turn number 4, Mullins will take the checkered flag and win the LCQ. So it's Mullins, Jellison, Sunderman, Sterling, Morris, and Bingley, your 6th finishers in that order. Now we'll move to our warm-up session. Will give us an opportunity and this broadcaster a chance for a quick break. We'll be back after this. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, Fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back at Eldora Speedway, the warm-up just about wrapped up and top of the charts. Dan Michel over the 64 of Jared Murphy. Michel's been on the racetrack a lot more recently than Murphy has, so maybe an advantage there. Understanding track conditions, where the grip is, where it's not. We'll see if that pays off here in our feature race. So let's get to it. Our starting grid still won't load. Been asking SDK about this for a while now, and it just hasn't been corrected. I'll wait for everybody else to make it to the grid. Maybe that'll fix things. Waiting on Heath Rutherford and Colton Alderman to the grid. Paging Dr. Alderman. There we go. All right, on the front row, it's the 07 of Bryce Jellison with the invert into his outside the 3 of Robert Black. Starting in the second row, Cliff Mullins and Stephen Luttrell. Row 3, Dan Jones and Colton English. Starting in the fourth row, Landon Brown and David Warmuth. Row 5, Heath Rutherford and Colton Alderman. The sixth and final row, it's Dan Michel and Jared Murphy, the two fastest in the warm-up session. Going to be a good one. 50 laps to settle it here at Eldora. Again, no fast repairs. One attempt at a green-white checkered finish. Caution laps do not count. Yeah, Cameron, Watkins Glen, the sight lines at that place, there are so many great opportunities for photos, especially doing what you're doing. If you ever get the chance to come out, I would strongly recommend the 6-hour weekend just because the access is so great. Even without a media credential, you can get some great shots there. Field in turn 4, green flag about to fly, and we are underway from Eldora. The All-Star Showdown is green. Fireworks firing off in the distance as fireworks on the track begin. Jellison still with the race lead over Stephen Luttrell, Cliff Mullins, Robert Black, Colton English. Jellison back to the bottom of the racetrack, utilizing that Golden Chef setup. Luttrell running second. So far, everybody keeping it straight, minding their P's and Q's. So far. Jellison just running away with clean track out in front, but behind him, it's chaos. 3 wide for the second spot and rocking the high side. The 4 of Colton Alderman jumps up to the second spot. Colton English, a little sideways mid-corner, loses some momentum. Meanwhile, Jared Murphy from the back of the pack already up to third. Dan Michelle working his way up through. He's up 6 positions to 5th. You can hear the Jaws music now. Jared Murphy tracking Colton Alderman for the second spot, but Alderman, he's got his own ideas. Never mind what's in the rear view. Look for the lead, but the caution comes out.
Cool your stuff, clear your head.
Heath Rutherford, I believe, involved in this. Let's take a look. Little contact with Mullins and then down into Warmoth. Oh, the 17. Dan Jones gets a big piece of that in the door. Hit him in the left front. There's some damage on that wheel assembly. So under our first caution of the night, again, want to remind everybody, caution laps do not count here tonight. So 50 lap feature means 50 laps under green. Pace truck lights are out. We're ready to go back racing. Going to get the restart here momentarily. Jellison and Alderman on the front row, but a hard-charging Jared Murphy in the third spot. Green back in the air. Jared takes full advantage. Slides up in front, tries to throw the slide job, and he does. Gets it in the back there from the 4 of Alderman, but it doesn't faze him a bit. Murphy trying to run down Bryce Jellison. Jellison with 0.4 of a second out in front. Alderman loses the top spot. Jellison loses the top spot, and I'll be all right. He slides back to third. Now he battles with the 4 of Alderman on the top side. Jared Murphy out to the race lead, now already a full second, and he's just going to go into cruise control here. Log laps until it ends. I said it earlier in the broadcast, Murphy's biggest concern tonight is going to be negotiating lap traffic, but the way he went from the back of the pack to the race lead in just 10 laps tells me he can run anywhere on this racetrack, but the caution is out again. Landon Brown is around.
Kind of talk me through what's going on again.
Just overdrove it in the corner. Got her caught sideways and then couldn't get righted. Almost backs it up into Jellison there. Saw him coming, hit the brakes in time. Gets it gathered back up. Uh-oh. There we go. All right, doubled back up, re-racked on the backstretch here. Pace truck lights have gone out. Will be green the next time by. Jared Murphy, Colton Alderman going to give it another go. That big lead that the 64 had gathered has gone away. See how long it takes to run it back up.
Green flag.
Murphy fires off, door banging behind him, Alderman and Dan Michelle. Michelle up to the second spot. Well, he was, if he could get clear of the 4. And Stephen Luttrell slides up the racetrack, bounces off Jellison. Jellison's going to go around, up the racetrack, in the fence, and the caution out again.
Cool your stuff, clear your head.
Another look at it here. Watch the 36, orange and yellow, bottom of the racetrack. Slides up, left front first into the 07. Jellison nose first now into the outside wall, and he just toes right to pit lane. His day likely done. Stephen Luttrell, however, same boat. He wrecks again after the fact. Let's back this up. Looked okay for a moment. Overcorrects, found the grip he didn't want, and hits the wall hard. He has a mechanical black flag, so the 36 might be done too. So that leaves us with, appears to be 9 cars left in contention here tonight. Bryce Jellison still trying to get repairs made to his 07, but his night likely over with. Pace truck is in.
Green flag, green flag.
Dan Michelle, Alderman come together off turn 2. Michelle slots back into the 3rd spot. Alderman really giving it a solid go here tonight. Out there trying to compete. Hits the wall off turn 4 as Murphy drives away to 1.7 plus. Battle for second continues. Alderman and Michelle with the caution out again. Landon Brown facing the wrong way. And Brown will take it to pit lane. How did I know Brown was going to do this? Well, let's take a look. Over rotates and just clips the 7. Colton English just a touch. So Landon Brown's night is done. Dan Jones rolls back out onto the speedway after some damage repair. He'll stay on the lead lap, so still 8 cars in the running. David Warmoth, front bumper cover and grill missing off that machine. Green flag back in the air. And in just 2 corners, Jared Murphy out to 7/10 over Dan Michel, just like that. So the battle for second continues with the 25 and the 4. Colton Alderman now switches positions with the 25. Alderman runs third. Behind him, it's Colton English in the 7, David Warmoth in the 8 and the 5th spot. Cliff Mullins, Robert Black, Dan Jones, your top 8.
Caution.
And we got trouble again. Robert Black is
How you doing there,
around.
kid?
So we'll take a look. Black just slides it in a little too hot. Parks it just about mid-corner. So as they run, it's Jared Murphy, Dan Michel, Colton Alderman, the top 3, then Colton English, David Warmoth in 5th, Cliff Mullins 6th, Robert Black 7th, Dan Jones 8th. Looks like Landon Brown, Steve Luttrell, Heath Rutherford, Bryce Jellison either out of the race or still behind the wall.
Green flag.
Closest Michelle's been to the back bumper of Jared Murphy tonight after just a couple of corners. Battle is on. Murphy slings it into turns 3 and 4. Battle behind them. Dan Michel, Colton English. And Murphy losing connection. He has disappeared for a moment. Is this an opportunity for the 25? Murphy shown back in the 8th position, has yet to come back in. There he is. Disappear too long, they send you away. Car length separating first and second. 30 laps to go here at Eldora Speedway. Shell scrapes the wall, sheds a lot of speed. Will give the advantage now to Murphy by just about a second. Behind the leaders, Colton Alderman running in 3rd, Colton English 4th. A lot of separation through the top 5. David Warmoth about a car length or 2 behind the 44. He runs 6th. Dan Jones in the 7th spot. Robert Black hanging in the 8th position. So Murphy back into a groove here. 27 to go, 2.6 seconds the lead for the 64 machine. Top three finally finding
Yellow,
some grip
yellow.
at the top of the track, and we've got a wreck. Or do we? Robert Black was stationary on the straightaway, and he'll just tow to pit lane, so caution's out for the 6th time tonight. Pretty big hit there for the 3, nose first into the wall. Just past halfway here at Eldora. Under caution for the 6th time tonight, Jared Murphy from the back knifed his way through the pack. He's maintained the race lead ever since. Dan Michel, hot pursuit. I don't think anybody's going to touch the 64 here tonight, but Michel has shown flashes of greatness. Once that 64 machine finds his rhythm, he really checks out from just about everybody. Race truck heads to pit road. Here we go for another restart at Eldora Speedway.
Be ready, green flag.
Jared Murphy on the gas. 24 to go. Michel gets into the back bumper of Jared Murphy, loosens him up a bit, breaks his own momentum, but Murphy hangs on to the race lead. Slipping and sliding through turns 3 and 4. Battle for second between 3 drivers, Michel, Alderman, and English. Alderman now just a few feet off the back bumper again. Michel trying to take that second spot away, but up the fence, up the racetrack, both drivers go. And just like that, Murphy checking out again. 1.6, 1.7 seconds the deficit to Michel. Warma still with a top 5 running order right now, but Dan Jones is going around the outside. Jones looking for the 5th spot, and he gets it. Cliff Mullins and Warmouth battling off corner exit as well. Mullins will take advantage, and Warmouth, the big loser there, loses a couple of spots and just a couple of corners. Meanwhile, Robert Black still sitting in pit lane with significant damage, so now we're down to 7. Starting to feel like a knockout race. Let's go for a lap around Eldora with Jared Murphy. Just digging out here. Dan Michel back 2.5 seconds. Colton Alderman 3rd. 14 laps to go for Jared Murphy. He's led more laps than we've officially had in competition. Colton English still running in the 4 spot. Dan Jones hanging on to P5. Mullins runs 6. David Warmoth is 7th. And here comes the leader, Jared Murphy, off turn 4. As we talked about it, trying to get into some lap traffic now. Finally, a long green flag run here at Eldora Speedway. It'll be 11 laps to go the next time by. Ryan in the chat says Murphy's arms are bending weird. He's inhuman. Nah, he's just double jointed. Murphy puts Mullins and Warmoth down a lap here. We 10 to go the next time across the stripe. Michelle hanging on to that second spot over Colton Alderman, and the gap is now growing to the 4 machine. Just about a straightaway's distance from second to third. Dan Michelle shown as the race leader. Now Murphy shown back in P3. I'm not sure what happened there. This just might be a scoring error with iRacing. Murphy now crosses the stripe and it shows him back at the race lead. So all is well. Thought something happened to the 64. Not the case. Still has a significant margin. Back to Dan Michelle. It's now 3.6 seconds. Just to give you an idea of how much these dirt tracks change over the course of a night. Murphy ran 17s in the warm-up session, or at least in qualifying and his heat race. His fastest lap tonight in the feature, only an 18:39, and the caution comes out late.
Sure, everybody on the racetrack will be pissed off at somebody else on the racetrack before this race is over with.
Cliff Mullins straightens it back out, gets run over by the pace truck. Pretty much saving it through that whole corner and just couldn't complete it. Straightened it out, then it came around again as he got back to the gas. Did a good job keeping it out of the wall. Almost rolled on his lid. Scary moment for sure for the 44. So we'll line them back up. And I'm not sure if we're going single file or if Dan Michelle doesn't want to start to the inside. Guess we're going single file restart here.
Great.
There we go. 5 more laps from Eldora for Jared Murphy. Can he hold off Dan Michelle? Does the 25 have a little bit left in the tank? Can he take this win away? Trouble behind. Colton Alderman up in the wall. Slows his momentum, opens the door for Colton English. Murphy already back in a rhythm, puts distance between himself and the 25. It's a half-second advantage, coming to 3 to go. Doing a good job keeping the gap where it's at, but I just don't think he's got enough to run him back down, and he's running out of time. Less than 2 to go. Murphy off the corner. Into 3 and 4 here. We'll be looking for the white flag, this time across the starter stand. There it is. Final lap from Eldora for Jared Murphy. Dominant performance, had to start from the back with the invert, knifed his way through the field. Once he got out front, never looked back. Jared Murphy from last to first to pick up the win here at Eldora. Sliding it off turn number 4, and he does it. Dan Michel will come home in the second spot. On to turn 4, who's going to get third? It's too close to call. The deficit's the same in the third position. It's showing Colton Alderman, but it's a 0 gap. What a run for the 4 out of turn number 4 as Jared Murphy takes the win. Cliff Mullins ends the race on his lid. Parking it in victory lane is the 64 of Jared Murphy. What a run. So with that, we'll step out, get a quick break out of the way, and hopefully have our top 3 finishers available for comment after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook. Back at Eldora Speedway, the GRL All-Star Showdown in the books, and Jared Murphy with a dominant win here tonight. We'll see if we get a word with the driver of the number 64 and get his take on tonight's event. Jared and Steve with Track Limits Network. You got a copy?
Sir.
Jared, congratulations, man. No question about it. A dirt ringer out there tonight. I don't know if you were a late add to the program, but you were fast right out of the gate. Practice, qualifying, heat races. Had to start at the back to get this one underway here tonight, but very quickly, I think within 5 laps, you were contending for the race lead. What is it about this place or just your skill set that makes you so fast?
I've had a ton of laps around Eldora. It doesn't really matter the car. A couple weeks ago, we ran UMPs here, and last week we did 410, so I spent a ton of time just riding the boards like that. And these cars, I had the setup, it was pretty good. It was a little tight in the center, but I could just pretty much lay it up on the cushion and lay into it.
It's a 50-lap scheduled distance race here tonight with the cautions and you working your way through the field, credited with 57 laps led. I don't know how you could be more dominant than you were here tonight.
Well, yeah, starting from front was really nice, but I like the challenge coming from the back. That was fun. I kind of just rode the bottom there and kind of hope nobody spun out into my door. And I also got into, I think, the 4-car on a restart. I didn't mean to do that. I apologize to him already.
But certainly an impressive run here tonight, Jared. Congratulations on it. Hope to see you down the line in one of these GRL events down in the future. But before we let you go, who do you want to thank?
I'd like to thank you for these awesome broadcasts. Chris Golden putting this deal on, and the boys back at Twisted Speed.
All right, Jared. Congratulations again. Thanks for talking to us. We'll see you at the next one. Jared Murphy, your race winner here tonight at Eldora Speedway. Next, we'll talk to the runner-up, the 25 of Dan Michel. He did get a couple of laps led here tonight, but just didn't have anything for Jared Murphy there at the end. We'll see what he has to say about tonight's race. Dan, it's Steve in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Dan, congratulations. Second place to Jared Murphy's got to almost feel like a win. You got a couple of laps led here tonight, but he's just so fast around here. Was there anything you could have done differently to run him down?
I think the only thing I could have done differently is get into my rhythm a little bit quicker. It took me way too long into the end of the race, maybe the last 10 laps, till I actually figured out the line. But it was tough. It was not only was the track changing, my car was changing. The right front and left front were both broken on lap 3, and I was having to try and relearn the car as I was going on, and then hitting the wall and getting worse.
Well, you made an impressive night out of it. Those restarts made it exciting, certainly. You were able to stick with Jared for a little bit. What was really the issue there? It seemed you could hang within a half a second, and then after 2, 3, 4 laps, Jared would start to drive away.
He's just better at getting into a rhythm, better throttle control. I was struggling a little bit. I didn't know what line to run in order for me to enter pretty good. And that's why I mentioned the last 10 laps. That was when I really figured out, okay, I can snap the rear end a little bit on entry and then have it kind of drift around the outside and then turn back down. I have a pretty good exit. I started putting lap time similar to him.
Well, Daniel, a job well done here tonight. Certainly impressive to finish P2 here tonight in the All-Star race. Who do you have to thank before we let you go?
I just want to thank everyone that showed up. All 20 guys, making it a really fun race, really good race up at the front. All the admins putting it together. And you guys for the broadcast, the people watching. We had 2 great seasons in dirt and asphalt, and I hope that everyone can go back and watch those. So, yeah.
Certainly got more coming in the future. I think we've got Chris sign us up back to do some more broadcasting in the next season, so we're looking forward to that. Dan, thanks for talking to us, and good luck in the next one.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Dan Michel, your runner-up here tonight at Eldora Speedway. Colton Alderman takes it home in the 3rd position here tonight. We'll get a word with the driver of that number 4 machine. Colton, it's Steve with Track Limits. You with us?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Colton, congratulations, man. Driving this thing home to a 3rd-place finish, and initially the gap was dead even at the line. You inched out Colton English for that 3rd spot. Was that a planned move you had set up there at the end, or just kind of come together off of turn 4?
He had been running the bottom all race. I don't know why, but I think he was running the Chris Golden setup, but that one was pretty good on the bottom. But that top was just so dominant today that he kept running it. I thought he was going to move up to the top. And that run before that, I actually killed the right front. It couldn't turn anymore, so I had to kind of throw it into the corner to get it in the slick stuff to get it to rotate and then gas it to keep it. But I was struggling at that last kind of section there, and he kept putting it on the bottom, and I was like, I can kind of run the top, so I just kind of gassed it up, and I guess somehow we got 3rd. But all in all, a good day and a lot of fun out there.
Certainly an interesting one to watch here tonight. No shortage of excitement. Colton, congratulations again. Third place, man. Who do you want to thank?
I want to first off thank Nick Christ. I actually took his spot. I'm his substitute today. I feel like I did him proud. If that caution wouldn't have come out on that first run, I feel like we were in a good spot. I could have held off everyone there because you just park it on the top and no one can get around you. But that caution came out and Jared threw a slide job and he cleared me, and so all in all, good racing. So I want to shout out him. He also helped me a little bit with the setup. I don't race dirt ever, so he helped me kind of what to look for in a setup, and so I just kind of quickly made it in like 10 minutes before the race started. But all in all, I just want to thank everyone here at Track Limits for putting this on, and it was a fun race.
All right, Colton, thanks for talking to us. Nice job, man. We'll see you at the next one.
All right, sounds good.
Colton Alderman, your third place finisher at Eldora Speedway. That'll do it for the GRL All-Star Showdown. We'll take a look at the race results. Official running order is Jared Murphy, Dan Michelle, Colton Alderman, your top three. We talked to them already. Colton English comes home in the fourth spot. Dan Jones drives the Tide Ride to P5. Cliff Mullins hangs in there for P6. David Warmoth does more of the same. He'll finish 7th, and he's already into the cooler. Robert Black comes home 8th. Bryce Jellison made the feature, busted his butt to get there and finishes 9th. Landon Brown was 10th. Stephen Luttrell, a frustrating night for the 36. He'll take home 11th. And last but not least, 45 laps down, Heath Rutherford will finish 12th. That'll do it for us here at Track Limits Network from Eldora Speedway. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.